If you would like a chance to win a Force FX Elite Lightsaber, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, and turn on notifications.
Welcome, my friend.
After the events of the rise of Skywalker, the galaxy was in a state of relative peace after the defeat of Emperor Palpatine and his final order. Rey had been instrumental in bringing about that victory, leading the resistance to victory against the Sith and their legions of loyal soldiers. With Palpatine's death, many believed that the threat of the Sith had finally been eradicated for good, but Rey felt differently. Even though she had defeated Palpatine and saved the galaxy, she still felt an emptiness inside. She had lost so much along the way: her parents, Luke, Leia, and even Ben Solo. She had sacrificed so much for the cause, but what had she gained in return? She had become a hero to the galaxy, but at what cost to herself? As she contemplated these questions, she found herself growing increasingly angry and resentful. She began to feel as though the galaxy owed her something for all that she had done, and that it had failed to repay her adequately. She had saved them all, but they still didn't understand her, still didn't appreciate her sacrifice. It was in this state of mind that Rey began to turn towards the dark side. She began to explore the dark side of the Force, searching for answers and for a sense of belonging that she felt had been denied to her by the light. She found that the power of the dark side was intoxicating, and that it gave her a sense of purpose that she had never felt before. At first, Rey was careful to keep her exploration of the dark side hidden from her friends and allies in the Resistance. But as she delved deeper into the dark side, she found it increasingly difficult to hide her true nature. She became more distant and colder towards her friends, and began to use her powers for her own purposes rather than for the good of the galaxy. One day, while on a mission with Finn and Poe, Rey's true nature was finally revealed. They had been sent to investigate a disturbance on the planet of Dromund Kaas, a colony of the old Sith Empire. They found evidence of a dark side cult operating in secret. As they delved deeper into the Dark Temple, they encountered a group of cultists who attacked them with the power of the dark side. In the heat of battle, Rey's true nature was revealed. She unleashed a powerful blast of dark energy that sent the cultists flying across the room, killing several of them instantly. Finn and Poe were shocked by what they had just witnessed, and could hardly believe that Rey, their friend and ally, had just used the dark side to kill. Rey was unrepentant. She felt that the cultists had gotten what they deserved, and that her use of the dark side was justified. Finn and Poe tried to reason with her, to convince her to turn away from the dark side before it was too late, but Rey refused to listen. She felt that they simply didn't understand her, didn't understand the power of the dark side. From that day on, Rey's actions became increasingly erratic and dangerous. She began to use her powers openly, no longer bothering to hide her true nature. She would use the Force to manipulate people, to bend them to her will, or simply to inflict pain and suffering on those who crossed her. She became a terror to those who knew her, feared by many and loved by none. She would attempt to escape the Resistance base. They tried to stop her. Unfortunately, it was too late. She was too far gone. She had become consumed by the power of the dark side, and was now a threat to the galaxy that she had once saved. In the end, it was only a small group of rebels led by Finn and Poe who were able to finally confront Rey. In a final showdown back on Dromund Kaas, Rey stood at the center of a dark ritual, surrounded by her loyal followers, ready to unleash an unspeakable evil upon the galaxy. Finn and Poe approached her slowly, their weapons drawn but their hearts heavy. They could see the darkness in her eyes. They knew that they were risking everything to try and save her, but they also knew that they had to try. As they drew closer, Rey turned to face them. Her eyes blazed with the power of the dark side, and she sneered at them.
You were foolish to return to Dromund Kaas. Very foolish.
Rey, we want to save you. You don't need to do this.
Save me. I don't need saving. I have everything I want right here.
But you're not happy, Rey. You're not at peace. You're consumed by the darkness.
You don't understand, Flyboy. Neither do you, Finn. The dark side is where I belong. I feel more like myself than I ever have.
Leia wouldn't want this for you, Rey. Come with us. You can stop all of this.
You're wasting your damn breath. I'm not going back to the light, and I won't return to the pitiful resistance. The dark side is my true calling, my destiny. You can't stop me. Nobody can.
For a moment, Rey hesitated. She looked at Finn and Poe, then glanced back at her loyal followers. She could feel the pull of the light, the tug of something deeper and more meaningful than the power of the dark side, but she pushed it away, determined to follow her own path.
It's time to end this, once and for all.
With a blast of dark energy, she attacked Finn and Poe, hurling them backwards with the power of the dark side, but they were ready for her. As they fell, they fired their weapons at her, hitting her with a barrage of blaster fire. Rey stumbled backwards, caught off guard by the sudden attack. For a moment, it seemed as though she might fall. But then, with a roar of rage, she unleashed a blast of dark energy that sent Finn and Poe flying across the area. As they struggled to regain their footing, Rey advanced on them, her eyes blazing with fury. But then, something strange happened. A voice, faint but unmistakable, whispered in her ear.
You're better than this, Rey. Don't do this.
It was the voice of Luke Skywalker, her former mentor and friend. For a moment, Rey felt a glimmer of hope. She remembered the lessons that Luke had taught her about the power of the light and the importance of compassion and selflessness. But then, with a scream of rage, she unleashed a massive blast of dark energy that tore through the battlefield, obliterating everything in its path. When the smoke cleared, Finn and Poe lay battered and bruised on the ground, barely conscious. Rey stood at the center of the devastation, her eyes glowing with triumph. She had won. She had proven that she was the most powerful Force user in the galaxy. She reveled in her victory, surrounded by destruction and death. She would turn to Finn and Poe, her lightsaber activated. She would strike them both down, without hesitation. From that moment on, Rey roamed the galaxy, leaving a trail of destruction and death in her wake. She became known as Empress Palpatine, a name that struck fear into the hearts of all who heard it. She was the most fearsome Force user in the galaxy, and no one would dare try to defy her.